This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Absolutely.
My view is the change of leader requires a general election. My view is the change of leader requires a general election. My view is the change of leader requires a general election.
Experts predict continued rain and unsettled weather for the remainder of the week and into next, with the possibility of thunder, lightning, very, very frightening. Met Office spokesmodel Graham said the wet and windy conditions could continue into next week as a large area of low pressure draws up warmer, moist air and deposits it all over us. But that doesn't mean that we will be getting higher temperatures than we normally get, or that does rather. It screwed that up. It does mean that we will be getting higher temperatures than we normally get, and it's all because of global warming.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, rain in Glasgow, but elsewhere mainly dry with some sunshine and breezy. It'll be Indian summertime where the living is breezy.
Rock and roll!
Sunday, mild and breezy with heavy thundery rain, which is pretty much what we'll get on Monday and Tuesday. Sunshiny, showery and windy. But mostly raining in Glasgow, I bet. Checking for you while you wait. Aha! Wow. Well, let's see now. This is the weather forecast for Glasgow for the next 2 weeks. You ready? Raining tonight and raining tomorrow and raining on Sunday. Then, raining on Monday and raining on Tuesday and raining on Wednesday and raining on Thursday and raining on Friday. Next weekend, on Saturday, it will be raining. And raining on Sunday, and raining the following Monday, that's the 31st of this month, and then the 1st of November, raining. And then raining on the following day and the day after that. That's every single day for the rest of your lives. Oh, well. Sunday, mild and breezy, heavy thundery rain, which is pretty much what we'll get on Monday and Tuesday, sunshine, shower, wind. Would you like to hear the long-range weather forecast?
No.
Right, OK, this is till the end of October and the start of November. It's practically November already. It's almost Jesus' birthday. At the start, rain and showers, followed by rain and showers. Then, at the end of the month, rainfall and strong winds in the northwest, driest in the southeast. Temperatures are likely to be warmer than average for the season, with mild nights. And then the middle 2 weeks of November. This is it. It's not going to get any nicer than this. Fingers crossed, everybody. Good luck. The middle 2 weeks of November. Changeable in most places, but drier in the southeast at first. Then a prolonged period of settled, sunny, mild weather. A prolonged period of settled, sunny, mild weather? We'll take it. Tom texts, I couldn't wait for Boris to go, and now I can't wait for him to be back. It's like Stockholm Syndrome. Are you nuts? Frank says, a sociopath never changes its spots, says Frank in Darwin. Well, that's just good information. The stuff you learn on this show. Educational, no?
No.
Backers of the ex-PM Bodger Johnson are clamouring for a return just 6 weeks after he was ousted from power. And we just heard on the news that some of his backers are fearful. Wait a minute. I wrote it down. It came by so quickly, I had to write it down. They think that something may be done to stop Boris Johnson's return. What, like the Conservative Party regaining its senses? Is that what they mean? No chance of that anytime soon. We've joined a cult. Apparently, they all have the memory of a soap dish. They don't recall the billions lost in dodgy COVID contracts, the mountains of dead people, the elevating to the House of Lords as mates and family and donors, the Russian connections, the promotion of sex pests, the constant partying, the constant lying, the money pouring his way from who knows where. So much money. And there's Jennifer Arcuri, the gold wallpaper, the free food delivered by a butler, the lying to the Queen, the racism and homophobia and xenophobia and the care home deaths and the disaster that is Brexit, which still hasn't been done. And the fact that he has the outspoken support of a coalition of cranks. I mean, seriously. If your supporters include Jack Smug, Mickey Fab Fabricant, Peter Bone and Nadine Dorris, then what does that say about you as a person? Never mind about a politician.
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
Just a few short weeks ago, there were so many of his own MPs that couldn't stand the stench of his leadership anymore, and they said, right, that's it, I'm leaving.
Bye-bye.
And now they want him back. Why? For the benefit of the country? Of course not. For their personal benefit, because they're petrified of the public giving the lot of them the sack, and then they'll have to try and find a proper job with the talents that they have to offer. Good luck with that. But so excited is he about staging a triumphant comeback that he has actually stopped being on holiday. Can you believe that? He's stopped being on holiday and soaking up the sun and the free everything for a bit to come back and soak up the applause of the deluded band of his cult worshippers. But it's not all oohs and ahs. Tory MP and former Bezzy Crispin Blunt said that Mr Johnson has personality weaknesses. You can say that again. Some of the say-no Tory MPs, those blessed with a memory that's longer than the time it takes to boil an egg, could resign the Tory whip or even defect in protest if the Bodge gets his way and becomes Britain's emperor again. And the entire lot of them could be gone from our lives forever if Keir Starmer gets a snap election and considers which would trigger a Conservative wipeout. A poll today shows the Tories 39 points behind Labour, their lowest ever rating. I think it's a Guardian reading tofu-eating Labour plot to seize power by becoming more popular.
Dreadful.
Can you believe that? Bodger's former spin doctor, Yeah, you're going to have to change one or the other name. Will Walden, are you joking? Bodger's former spin doctor said that Blobby absolutely hates to lose and will not run if he looks short of the 100 threshold. He'll only enter a contest if he's certain to win. That's just the sort of can't-do attitude that Britain needs. Running away in a huff and taking the ball with him if he looks likely to lose. One Tory MP said he's ego on sticks. Another urged him to get back to the beach. Yeah, maybe we could push that whale back out to sea. A Boris-supporting cabinet minister, on the other hand, says if we lose 10 MPs, we've still got a majority of 51. He's got the stardust the others simply don't have. And there it is. He's the funny bloke off the telly. Please disregard everything he has ever said or done. He's the one that could keep them their jobs. That's where we're at. You know, Bodge used to lie for money as a columnist in the papers, and in 2011 he wrote the following. When a regime has been in power too long, when it has fatally exhausted the patience of people, and when oblivion finally beckons, I am afraid that across the world you can rely on the leaders of that regime to act solely in the interests of self-preservation and not in the interests of the electorate. That's what Boris Johnson wrote in 2011. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I agree with Boris Johnson.
What?
He was writing about Gordon Brown, by the way. You remember Gordon Brown, don't you? It took ages to find that. Absolutely ages to find that. Yeah, that's him. Gordon Brown, the chap who, when you hear him speak these days, it comes as a shock to recall that we used to be run by serious people, not a shower of clowns. But even the permanently deluded cultists who worship at the extra-large running shorts that he sports when he galumphs his way the 10 yards from his car to the conference hotel for the cameras don't think that Bodge can do it himself. So they're after a dream team of him and Fishy Sunak. Their fans hate each other. Fishy is the man who brought Bodger down, according to the cultists. Why would the gazillionaire and skinny suit model Fishy Sunak want to get in bed with Bodge?
Disgusting.
I mean, really? But what's called a bid to heal divisions in the party, Johnson's allies are reaching out to Sunak, saying that they should get back together. Get back together. What they mean is they should get back together in a bid to save their own jobs, and Bodger and Fisher's allies are desperate for them to air kiss and make up. Don't go anywhere near his lips, Rishi. You don't know where they've been. Tory MP Paul Bristow told this station, he said, I think we need to bring the band back together. These are two big beasts in our party and it makes absolute sense for them working together. The band. Like they're Simon and Garfunkel. They're not Simon and Garfunkel, they're Dick Dastardly and Muttley.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Hot H-O-T-A-I-R.
David texts, hi Nick, if the prospective candidates only get a maximum of 99 votes, will that mean that we are stuck with Miss T until the next general election? So I have no idea. I bet they don't know either. What happens then? Let's ask a numbers expert.
86%, 5 million, and of course...
Oh, put a sock in it. Mike texts, the saddest thing about this week is that we're almost certainly going to lose Therese Coffin as the health secretary. The health secretary. I mean, seriously, that's just trolling us, isn't it? Yeah, I'm on about like 300 or 400 antibiotics a week now, man. But I'm just doling them out to my friends and family. Always complete the course. Here's Penge. Hello, Michael.
Yeah, hi, Nick. I think we should be encouraging the Tory party to appoint Boris Johnson. I think they deserve each other. I think when you think about Conservative Party, the words contempt, arrogance, sense of entitlement, elitist spring to mind.
Yeah.
So by bringing in Boris, he
fits the bill completely.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
At this point, I think, to hell with it. Let's just get Suella Braverman.
Yeah, we'll just bring in Boris, crash the Tory party once and for all. That will be the end of it. I think is it 20 seats now that they're expected to win? 20 seats and declining?
Something like that, yeah. Thereabouts. Dwindling rapidly.
Think about their record over the last, not just the last 5 years, the last 50 years. They've destroyed the industry. They've served personal interests, big corporations. We've got the austerity of Osborne and Cameron years.
Yeah, it's the worst record since the best of the Lighthouse family.
Yeah, I mean, the people go on about this. They say it's the most successful political party in the history of the world.
Oh, please.
So, I mean, I'd say bring on Boris.
Yeah.
All you Tory members and crash the party.
Yeah.
That will be the end of it.
Well, he's very, very good at crashing.
Yeah.
Everything he gets in crashes. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Good work. Thanks a lot, Michael. He's very, very angry. Not at all satisfied. Gary texts, with regards to Boris Johnson, here comes the new boss, same as the old boss. Won't get fooled again, or will we, says Gary. Yes, Gary, we will. I betcha we will. They will present themselves as a brand new party. Please disregard everything we've said or done. It wasn't us. We ain't done nothing. This country was like that when we got here. And people will go, oh, right, yeah, OK then. Leave him alone. He's doing his best. God, it's vomitous. 0345 6060 973. Tavistock. Hello, Rose.
Oh, hello, Nick. I am very, very angry. I couldn't listen to any of it today.
Oh, no. Very, very angry.
I'm very, very angry. It was the arrogant self-indulgence of it all. They're playing out their internal quarrels, indifferent to everything else, as if they had the right to govern.
Yes.
And we're helplessly playing along with all this. These were my thoughts that I was saying out loud, and I thought, well, I might as well say them to you. I mean, for God's sake.
Yes.
You know, these three contestants for the prize of being PM. why are we so interested in these mediocrities? It's as if we've been taken hostage. I mean, this isn't democracy, Nick. It's dictatorship.
This entire country has
they're
been...
doing it all over again.
You're shouting at me, Rose.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, you should tell me. I'm very naughty like that.
No, I understand. I understand your ire. You are very upset. You're not angry.
Yes.
You're just upset.
No, I am extremely angry.
And angry, too,
Months.
yeah. Forgot about that, yeah.
But months of this farce. I mean, it's like a Whitehall farce, isn't it? You've got these people falling in and out of the doors of offices of state.
What I find what annoys... Do you want me to tell you what annoys me? Or do you just want to keep ranting on?
I'd quite like to keep ranting if I was...
Well, you are entertaining me. That would be just fine. Well, I have a brief 3-hour show. Go ahead.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is another thing. All they do is strike poses of varying shades of ruthlessness.
Yes.
You know, about tough decisions. And then you've got a background of people in fear and dread. They've shredded the institutions of civilization that benefit the people. Mm-hmm. They are a failed government, and the only democratic course is to accept that and stand down.
Oh my God! Would you like to be the leader of the Labour Party? I think you are more outspoken than the current one.
Well, you know, people are tired, they're overworked, they're underfed, and they're too tired to rebel. Now, this is what's scaring me, Nick, seriously. We're in danger because of this, because we've given up, of sitting in our collapsed country and giving it up. I mean, can I tell you this? 6 months ago, by chance, 6 months ago this was, I was just relaxing, looking at the illustrations in this book called Civilization from 1969. But I was looking at the pictures, and then I found a statement at the end where Clark had written. It ends like this. Because what I'm seeing, Nick, is none of this is civilized. They've got rid of a lot of civilization. And this is what Clark says. It is lack of confidence more than anything else that kills a civilization. We can destroy ourselves by cynicism and disillusion just as effectively as by bombs. We had a civilized society, and we're watching it go in front of our eyes. And I'm extremely upset. Yes, I am terribly upset.
Well, don't worry, Rose. It might never have... Oh, no, that's right.
No.
It already has.
Oh, gosh.
I tried to watch that Civilization programme when it first came out. And how old is that? 69, did you say? Well, I was 9 years old. 9 years old at the time, and I just way over my head.
Yes. Yes, I don't think I saw much of it. I don't think I had a television, but... you know, it's interesting, too, because at this end here, he quotes the Yeats poem, you know, things fall apart, the centre cannot hold. And he actually says in 1969, Yeats wrote this 50 years before then, that he's afraid of the way things are going because we still have no centre. And then this line, the best lack all conviction and the worst are full of passionate intensity.
Well, that sounds about right.
That was, yeah, I mean, it's 50 years on yet, and I'm beginning to wonder. The odd thing was that I was looking at this again on Sunday, and The Lark Ascending, Radio 3 was playing.
Oh, yeah, The Lark Ascending, one of my favourites. Yeah.
I know, and it was moving me tremendously. And I thought, well, this must have been composed about the same time as that poem by Yeats. It was just one of those funny synchronicities. Do you know, the first performance in that form was the same year as Yeats published that poem, you know, The Centre Cannot Hold.
Oh, poetry. Please tell me more about poetry.
Boring!
I'm sorry. 1921.
Right.
But, you know, the best lack all conviction. It's worrying, it really is.
Yeah.
And I never was patriotic before. I'm patriotic now because I feel we're being taken over.
Yes, I tell you what irritates me is people like Johnson and his ilk telling those who don't agree with them that they are being unpatriotic. You are being unpatriotic if you do not agree to the dismantling of everything that we hold dear. Well, to hell with that. They're not patriotic. They're wreckers. They're destroying everything that they claim to love. In the interest of what? Themselves personally, their personal enrichment. I mean, that's what it amounts to, really, isn't it? That's why they acquire power. I mean, they can, avail themselves of their most pulchritudinous assistants, of course. I mean, that goes with the job. whether the assistant likes it or not. And apparently there's a lot of that about in the Palace of Westminster. But it's all about the money, honey. And just the idea that those who disagree with how they are ruining the land are being unpatriotic just irks me greatly. But anyway, Rose, cheer up, dear, because what else have we got?
Well, that's how dictators talk.
Right.
That's precisely what dictators do.
Yeah.
Say
correct.
that.
Well, yeah.
Isn't it?
I mean, he's taken pretty much everything that he ever did is can be seen through the filter of what would Donald Trump do.
Everything that I've done is 100% proper. That's what I do, is I do things proper.
He does things terribly and then lies about it, and that's precisely what we've got running this country for as long as anybody can remember. 12 years and running now. Good grief. What an absolute shower. Thanks a lot, Rose. Very upset. James says, I've just realised that Penny Mordaunt reminds me of Hyacinth the Bucket from Keeping Up Appearances. Once seen cannot be unseen. That's right. Yeah. What is it with women and hair-sprayed hair helmets? What's that about? In fact, what is it with Tories and weird hair? It seems to be like a deflector shield with them. I mean, Liz Truss's hairstyle, she could have used it as a crash helmet and not come to any harm if she fell off a bike. No offence. I suppose the Labour Party are not immune from hair mistakes. I mean, look at Keir Starmer.
You don't need to put all of that product in your hair. You just don't.
You just don't. 0345 6060 973. Shane says this Conservative government is like watching a Z-class movie. The acting is terrible, the plot is ridiculous, but you keep hoping as you've paid for the film another 10 minutes it might get better. Yeah. Any idea that it might get better anytime soon?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, it will continue to be amusing in the same way as a car crash is not necessarily amusing, but it's attention-grabbing. You can't take your eyes off it, right? The whole of the rest of the world is rubbernecking this country. How embarrassing is that? We're the pile-up on the other side of the motorway. And everybody, the whole of the rest of the world is going by on the other side of the motorway thinking, God, I'm glad I'm not going to that destination. Just look at that tailback. We used to be a serious country. We used to be a serious country run by serious people. And then we decided to go I don't know, it's like something just took a hold of us. It's Brexit, isn't it? Ever since that Etonian numpty decided to shore up his position and asked the country to vote on a subject that they knew absolutely nothing about. Please don't tell me you knew what you were voting for. You didn't. Ever since that moment, this country has gone to pot, and not in a good way. Thanks a lot, David Cameron.
I think this is nonsense.
We're still not missing you, by the way. But we know where to find you if we do. You'll be in the shed or where they keep the tools.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
Simon texts, I don't care anymore, Nick. I am voting for the monster raving loony party. At least I'll have done my bit. Appreciate it, Simon.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing your bit. Let's have Birmingham. Hello, Lorraine.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Lorraine.
Hello.
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 There's just three brief things I want to whiz through.
Couple of three things.
What?
Couple of three things, yes.
Couple of three things, yeah. First of all, I think we should have a constitution whereby there's no recycling of PMs that have been either kicked out or resigned.
Well, that's just being eco-friendly.
That's right,
yeah.
It is, yes.
Recycle, reuse, yeah. Then throw away.
That's it, end of. I think it was Cruella Bravenham, has said that the strikers were holding the country to ransom recently. Is it not the Tory government that are holding the country to ransom at this point in time?
It is, yeah.
And thirdly, now that we've had Truss's resignation in inverted commas, there is one good point, that she's no longer in charge of the nuclear button. Because you can't do a U-turn on that, can you? Given what she's done to the economy, we don't want any further lives destroyed.
Unpleasantness, yeah.
Unpleasantness, yes.
That's right, yeah. But now that she's out, though, who is in? Because she's not doing her job anymore.
No, there is that caveat involved, isn't there? There's another idiot about to take place of the party at some point soon.
Yeah,
so,
he might have his fat finger just hovering over that big button, thinking it might be the button that delivers him a pizza.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we might be better off if we had Putin in charge, you know. The amount of damage that's getting done.
Let's not get carried away, Lorraine. Cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. Tanya says, Liz Truss has done the taxpayer a big favour. Had she stayed longer, we'd have to pay for number 10 to be redecorated all over again, says Tanya. Yeah, and then you know who would have come in and redecorated.
I can't comment on that.
So that's a yes, then? He wants solid platinum wallpaper this time round. You know, just as long as he's not paying for it. Very expensive to those that can afford it. No, wait, I screwed that up, didn't I? The other way around. Oh, never mind. see with nail and I for further details. Or as I think it's supposed to be, with null. But nobody ever says that. Greenwich, hello, Carol.
Hello, Nick.
Carol.
How are you?
I am great, mate.
Honest to God, I have to firstly say that I absolutely love your programme and I listen to you every night.
Thanks, Carol.
Fail. But I have a bit of a gripe. I know. My point that I'm going to say tonight is that all this madness that's going on with the government and all the rest of it, is all these journalists and broadcasters, including yourself, sorry to say, do not expose the fact that this country is actually being run by oligarchs.
Expose?
It's like nobody wants to talk about it.
I've been talking about it for ever and a day.
I know you have, my darling, and I know that, but I think we need to talk about it more.
Is your other phone going?
No.
What is that then?
That was my son's phone in the other room.
Right.
Yeah, he's a youngster, he has a mobile. But no, basically, it's like, why are we not actually telling the real truth about what these oligarchs are doing?
I agree entirely, Carol. You are completely correct in every respect. But you want to check on your son because he's probably getting a call to go out and have a dance.
I know he is.
You need to tell him he's not going out looking like that.
The last time I actually spoke to you was just before Christmas last year. And live, and when you realised my name was Carol,
on Jesus' birthday. That sounds perfect. I shall look forward to talking to you again in a couple of months' time. Good work. Thanks a lot, Carol. You want to give your son an earful? Give him what for? This says, if only we need to pass an IQ test to vote and the vote was removed from us at the age of 65. If only we needed to pass an IQ test to vote and the vote was removed from us at the age of 65, says Paul. Yeah, OK. Yeah, all right. Why not? There should be some sort of test. Absolutely. There should be a test before you vote or procreate. I know that might sound shocking. This says, I hope Fabricant stands for leadership. If he's second place, I would hope that Bodger would appoint him foreign secretary. It would be a laugh to see Biden's face when they both visit Washington. I mean, seriously, what is going on the top of that man's head? There's videos of him online, and you just cannot pay attention to a single thing he says for want of gawping at what's going on top of his head. What is it? Because it looks like it's made out of plastic. You know those... You know when shopkeepers make food out of plastic and they put it in their windows because if it was real food, it would go off and they'd have to keep replacing it. So they make it out of plastic. It looks like somebody has made a dish of pasta out of plastic and upturned it on the top of that man's head. What is it? Because it's clearly not normal. And it's clearly his thing, his logo, his image. It's an affectation. Because nobody... I almost refuse to believe that it's a wig, because nobody would sell a wig that looks like that, and nobody would buy one, even if they did. So, I don't know what... I don't know what he's putting... If that is in fact his hair. I mean, he may actually be wearing some plastic pasta as a bet. See how long he can go without somebody saying, hang on a minute. But if not, then it is his hair and he's putting just a little bit too much product in it.
You don't need to put all of that product in your hair. You just don't.
That comes in so useful. But Michael Fabricant, I mean, it's just... One of the many times this week that I've gone... oh, by the way, we're done, Carol. Thanks a lot.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. So polite. Just waiting for her.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's still not gone. Have you gone yet?
Yes, I'm gone now.
She's still not gone. Hey, Carol.
Ollie got.
Bye. This says, still not gone. Hey, Nick, I just heard you mention about some Tory getting the band back together. Band name, Bodger and the Bodge Jets. Bodger and the Bodge Gets. Wow. A listener with material.
Oh, no.
Really bad material, too. So it could be Fishy Sunak and or Bodger Johnson. Friends of Fishy says he wants to hook up in a purely political way with Penny Mordaunt. Oh, my God, it's like Blind Date when all the candidates are the joke selection. And everyone under the age of 30 is going, what's Blind Date, Grandad? Oh, Grandad? Why, you little... Get Scylla on the phone, she'll explain it. Not answering? Keep trying.
Britain's Conversation, LBC, with Nick Abbott.
Hang about, Nick. Listen, now, what I'm trying to say to you is this, Nick, right?
This says that the Conservatives are now like bathroom mould. It doesn't matter how hard you try, you just can't get rid of them. I genuinely feel like my mind has melted due to hearing people say that Johnson is the only one to sort the country out. Have drugs been pumped into the atmosphere to make us all go mad, says Paul in Chatham. If you put your head to the country's, if you put your ear to the country's head, this is the sound that you hear. 0345 6060 973. Feltham. Hello, Ian. Hang on a minute.
Nick.
Ian. There you are.
Hello, Nick.
Yes.
Yep, that lady who phoned, it's prompted me to phone in about we're being run by oligarchs.
Yes.
And we are. But we've allowed it to happen insidiously because we've been persuaded that these people are competent and know what they're doing, and they're not.
I tell you what, it really is quite a surprising discovery to realise that all of the people that you sort of, not revered exactly, but that you respected because they were above you in some way, you know, the politicians who, they seem to be in charge of their brief and they seem to know more than we did. And then you come to find out that they're actually just a bunch of dopes.
Yeah, can I quote Plato? Those who seek power are the least qualified to hold it.
Oh.
And also, one of the penalties of refusing to participate in politics is that you end up governed by your inferiors.
That's Plato, is it?
2,000 years ago, what a clever bloke.
Well, and he invented the plate.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a lot of people know that.
No.
All right, thanks a lot, Ian. This is an educational show, no?
No.
0345 6060 973. This says, I have been very concerned and bemused regarding Michael Fabricant's hair for a long time. That hair is just not right, says Fiona in Birmingham. It does seem a bit odd, doesn't it? I mean, it does take the eye and the mind off. When he's talking, you're just not paying attention to a single thing that he says, which is probably of benefits to him personally. It's just exhausting. On the subject of oligarchs, by the way, I might as well get into this now. Guess how many people account for a quarter of all donations made to the Conservative Party since Boris Johnson became Prime Minister? 10. 10! How many, Zaphod?
And 1.
10.
2.
More than that.
6 million.
Less than that. Just 10 wealthy people account for a quarter of all donations made by individuals to the Conservative Party since Boris Johnson became Prime Minister. 10 rich super donors, 9 of whom are men. What difference does that make? I'm just reading out of The Independent. 9 of whom are men, so what? 10 rich super donors have given a combined sum of over £10 million to the Tories since Boris Johnson entered Downing Street, equalling more than 25% of the amount received by individuals in the past 2 years, which was £38.6 million to the Tories. And then there was this letter a little while ago in The Sun, the Super Soraway. Do you remember that? The Tory donors who've given the party more than 18 million quid in recent years urged Conservative MPs not to ditch the PM. The super rich wanted Bodger to stay in place. This pleading letter from 22 big bucks supporters, as The Sun puts it, brands plotters foolish. This was back in the summer, in June. And says that Bojo has their unwavering support. He's got the unwavering support of billionaires. Wonder why? Yes. It says this country needs leadership and answers now. Leadership. Leadership. He's leading us from a deck chair in the Dominican Republic or wherever else it is that he's gone off in a huff, that he can get a free holiday. Anybody think that he's paying for it himself? Oh, please. It says this country needs leadership and answers now, and our Prime Minister is the best person to do that job. Oh, my God, if that was true, we're in deep, deep trouble in this country. It says we need to let him get on with it. Business needs certainty and stability. Stability. So we need Boris Johnson to remain as our Prime Minister, and he has our unwavering support, said billionaires. And why would billionaires be so interested in keeping Boris Johnson in power, you might think? Because he would be good for the country? Or good for the billionaires? It's a puzzler, isn't it? Curious. That nice lady was right. It has been... It's like a coup. We have... And I don't mean a coup. Not that kind of coup. We've been overrun. This country is no longer run for the interests of the people. This country is run for the interests of the people that run the country. What an absolute shower, eh? Here is Isha Mwala.
No, Nick, it's Nula.
Can I call you Mwala?
No, Nula.
Mwala.
No, Nula.
No, Nula.
Yeah, Nula. Nula. You definitely can call me Nuala. It's Nula.
Right. No, Nula. Yeah, so what's up?
So, I've been listening to you. I've just got home, actually. We went to a rugby game, so we're just back now. And we're
rugby.
Boring.
Yes. Rugby.
Oh, my God. I love you. I love your little scenarios. Boring. Anyway, look, my thing is, does it matter, really, who is Prime Minister once they get the country back on track, the economy back on track, all that kind of stuff? Does it really matter?
Are you kidding me right now?
No, I'm not. I'm very serious.
How did Liz Truss's premiership go for you?
Oh, my God, disaster.
Exactly. So, of course, it matters.
No. But does it matter? Like, you're talking about Boris the whole time. You need somebody who's charismatic.
No, you don't.
You do.
No, you don't. No, you do not. You don't. You need somebody who is charismatic to present Saturday night television, not to run a country.
No, you do. You do, Nick. You do. Right, you do. Liz Truss wasn't good enough. She was terrible. You need somebody who's charismatic.
Oh, my God. No, Nuala, you just want to be entertained.
No, I don't. Nick. Nick, I don't. Right, okay. I listened to your friend Rose citing poetry earlier. She was funny. She was a funny old gal. No, you need somebody who's going to be able to run the country.
Yes.
Who's going to be...
Are you telling me that Boris Johnson is able to run the country? That he was ever remotely interested in doing that?
Oh dear, I'm not sure.
What was that noise?
Sure.
It sounded like it sounded like steam escaping. Are you all right?
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Well, all right, go on then. Don't expect an answer, but you can ask.
Okay, right. Okay, so who do you think would be good enough to run the country?
I think it's probably worth somebody other than a member of the Conservative Party having a bash for a while, don't you?
Okay, so we're going for a Labour government then, yeah?
I think a rainbow coalition might be more interesting and beneficial to the population at large.
Okay. Yeah, because all the way home from where I came from, you were just bashing the Tories all the way.
Yeah.
And I hate when somebody bashes, but they don't actually give any answers to say, okay, well, this is what we really should do.
Yeah, no, Nuala, it's not my job to run the country.
No, I know, but it's your job to run the radio program.
Yeah, and I'm doing that just fine.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh my God!
Hey, you know what? No, Nuala, you're listening. If this is not a good show, then that says something rather bad about you. I'm just saying. But anyway, it's been a delight, No Nuala. It's an odd name, but, that's your choice. 0345 6060 973. This says, I've been very concerned. Oh, no, read that. Fiona from Birmingham is still concerned about Mickey Fab's hair, or whatever that is. Once you think that it is a plate of plastic pasta that has been upturned on his head, it's very difficult to unthink that. Try it. I double dare you. This says, do you think Bob Seeley and Jeremy Hunt look alike? Helen says, hi Nick, have you heard that the Lizbot is going to give honours to her mates? Oh my God, she's not going to have a resignation honours list. Please tell me that she's not going to do that. I mean, really. They have zero shame. Roger Johnson had a resignation honours list and he was fired. Zero shame helps when you're trying to get to the top. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Nobody.
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
It's mystifying. This is in the Guardian about Roger Johnson's holidays. If Boris Johnson is about to make a fresh campaign for 10 Downing Street, he should certainly be refreshed. Since he resigned as Prime Minister in early July, he appears to have been on 3 foreign holidays. 3 foreign holidays.
What?
The latest being to the Caribbean, wherever that is. The former Prime Minister is now said to be flying back from the Dominican Republic, where he arrived almost 2 weeks ago with his current wife. They are understood to have stayed at a resort, a luxury golf resort, if you please, where celebrity guests include, but are not limited to, Bill and Hillary Clinton, Jennifer Lopez, JC and Bouncy. Rooms cost from £683 a night. I'll try it again. Very expensive to those that... Oh, never mind. No, I'm determined to get it. Very expensive... No. Free... Oh, never mind. A 5-bedroom villa will set back guests $3,204 a night. That's according to the hotel website. I bet he's not paying for himself. Any bets on whether he's paying for himself? Bet nah. Villa guests enjoy a personal maid and butler service. I bet that's what perked Boris Johnson's interest. Villa guests enjoy a personal maid. Really? Described by the Dominican Today news website as a refuge for millionaires and celebrities, it's located in the historic sugar mill town of, oh, who cares? In August, the Johnsons travelled to Slovenia for a stay in a 5-star eco hotel. Eco? Groovy. The trip was described as a mini moon to mark their wedding celebrations before he embarks on his, next wedding. Days later, they headed to Greece for a family holiday and reported to have boarded a private boat to the island of somewhere before going somewhere else, and etc. and so on. So who's paying for it this time around, I wonder? I betcha he ain't paying for a penny of it. Does he pay for anything? 0345 6060 973. And people are still going, oh, but leave him alone. He's doing his best. God, it's just absolutely vomitous. What is it about that man that brings out the stupid in people? Some reporter was on the streets of Uxbridge. Uxbridge is his constituency. He's not on holiday. He should not be on holiday. He is an MP. We pay him to represent the good people of Uxbridge. I bet he couldn't find Uxbridge with a sat-nav. Has he ever been there? He's been on 3 holidays since storming off in a huff because he can't be world leader anymore. I mean, if I was a person in Uxbridge, I would be furious. First of all, because I live in Uxbridge. Second, because the representative that I voted for, or that most of the people or the majority of the people in Uxbridge voted for, doesn't appear to have the remotest interest in actually doing his job. And so some reporter went on the streets of Uxbridge and asked people there what they thought. And oh my God, every single one. I mean, maybe it's just that they edited out all of the people that made sense. But all of the ones that they put on screen were, oh, Boris Johnson's the only man to come back and fix this mess. What, the mess that he caused, you mean? Morons. We're surrounded by morons. It's as though 40% of the country has joined a cult. There's no other way of looking at it. It's a religious cult. And they're bowing before his enormous magnificence. I mean, did you see the picture of him on the beach with his current wife? Oh my God, it looked like Stan and Ollie. It's exactly what it looked like. It's just painful. It really is. I can't stand it anymore. Fiona from Birmingham again says, no matter how many times I have studied Michael Fabricant's hair, I just don't understand it. It's a complete mystery. Do you think he owns a mirror? 0345 6060 973. It was just so bizarre. I mean, he was giving it large about how wonderful Boris is. And he kept... the plastic pasta kept falling in his eyes, and he kept moving it out of his eyes, but not so much that he would actually move the entirety of it, just a little bit, just a tiny bit that he wasn't looking through it anymore. So as not to so as not to mess up the style of whatever that is. Have you ever seen anything like it in your life?
No.
0345 6060 973. Let's have East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Right. So upset about the holidays because...
Mike, please speak directly into the phone.
Hi, Nick. Is that better?
No, it's pretty bad, actually. It's not a very good phone.
It's brand new. The other one wasn't very good, so I got another one.
It makes it sound as though, in the 70s on, like, American TV cop shows, somebody would put, like, a handkerchief over the telephone speaking part, the microphone part of a telephone, to disguise their voice. Now, that doesn't work, but that's what it sounds like you're doing. It sounds like you're talking through your sock.
No.
Right, this is what you normally sound like.
Apparently on this phone, it's the first time I've phoned it on this one. So.
Maybe this is an accurate rendition of what you actually sound like in real life. Can anybody understand you in real life?
Some do.
Okay.
I was saying, don't get too upset about the holiday thing, because if Bodger gets back in again and he works true to form, remember what he did after he won the 19 election? He went on holiday.
Went straight on holiday, yeah.
And with a freebie. And there was all the arguments about whether he'd paid the 15 grand or he hadn't. And it emerged he hadn't in the end. But just a couple of things happened this week. There was the fracas in the lobby. Houses of Parliament, and we're fighting. It's like Eastern Europe or the Far East.
It was a fracas about fracking. Yeah.
Absolutely, but people were saying about Tory people, Tory ministers or whatever, reminding them of people. And every time I see Therese Coffey, it reminds me of Grandma in the Giles cartoons.
Wow. You know, just a millisecond before you said that, my mind made that connection. And no one's... I haven't heard anybody say that before, but that's instantly where I went, just slightly before you said it. Wow.
And then other connections as well. Think about Let's Get the Band Back Together is the Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And then I thought, what happens in the Blues Brothers? You get disgruntled former girlfriends chasing them round, and then in the end they end up in jail.
Well, don't tell us.
Oh, no. Well, it's only, what is it? 25 years ago.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. That's one of those films that I've tried watching several times, but it's just not funny. It just isn't. I mean, people say that it's one of the best comedies ever made, but I'm sorry, it isn't.
No, the music's not bad, but it's just too disrupted. It's just all over the place.
It's too self-indulgent, which may have something to do with cocaine. Cocaine may have had something to do with the self-indulgence, I suspect.
It could be, but another thing that cropped up this week, I don't know whether you picked it up, Harry Curl, client journalist of the Conservative Party, wrote a biography of the Lisbon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's due for publication in early December, and they've had to pull it because they've had to change the title on it, and he's had to add a final chapter.
Right, to the pamphlet.
Oh, what effort. It was something like The Amazing Rise of Liz Truss.
Yeah.
And they've had to change it to The Explosive Rise of Liz Truss.
My glamorous assistant has just put on screen Grandma from is it Andy Capp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, oh, my God, it's an absolute spitting image. Look it up on the World Wide Web, people. You won't believe it. All right, thanks a lot, Mike. 0345 6060 973. That is priceless. You can text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. I mean, they are trolling us. They've been trolling us for a good long while, just throwing distraction bombs out the window. I mean, when you think of health, do you think of Therese Coffin? No. No one does. I mean, she's actually called Therese Coffin. James says, I took a straw poll with myself on who would make a better leader of the UK, Johnson or Trump, and the winner was Kim Jong-un. And Paulasaurus says, Penny Mordaunt's accent is on a par with Rees Moggs. She talks like she's got a plum in her mouth. In fact, like she's got two plums in her mouth. How do you talk like that?
I don't know anything.
He still doesn't know. He'll look into it. You have to start like that and then work from there. Everything comes from that.
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
Like that. And this, by the way, is what he said when it was Labour changing leaders.
My view is the change of leader requires a general election.
My view. Because he's changed his view since. Now it's not his view anymore. 0345 6060 973. For anybody listening from abroad, nobody speaks like that here. It's an affectation. Southampton. Hello, Simon.
Nick, I just wanted to redress the balance from Nonula. Her call.
Oh, yes, Nonula, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I specifically tune in to hear you bash the Tories. So,
well, I tell you what, when the Tories stop bashing us, then we shall stop bashing them.
Exactly. I love it. Now I've had a weird sort of premonition. So you might want to bear with me on this right now. So now I've been listening to the radio all day. Nothing unusual there, and the cold is started to wake up again.
Yeah.
and I've heard lots of people say that he'll do better this time.
Oh.
He's learned his lesson.
Oh,
he's
please.
learned his lesson, and
Yeah.
he'll be better.
I tell you what, he has learned his lesson. His lesson is that he can do anything he wants and get away with it. I mean, is he suffering right now? He just did a speech for 150 grand.
I know. Well, here's the thing. Seeing as he's managed to cast a spell over less than half of the country.
45%.
Yeah. I reckon this time he'll come back and he'll be anti-Brexit.
Oh.
He might even be anti-Tory. And he'll and he'll start trying to infect the rest of us. We might start to like him and think, and before you know it, he's got the whole country under his spell, and we're all in the cold.
Well, I'm deciding to hold out.
Wouldn't be surprising, though, would it? Because he does go where the wind's going, and it's obviously quite clearly not going in the direction of the Tory party or Brexit anymore.
Yeah, maybe he'll cross the floor and become a greenie.
Well, maybe.
You'll move to Brighton, where the vote is secure.
Well, I mean, nothing would surprise me anymore.
No, exactly.
Nothing. You know, it wouldn't surprise me to turn on the telly and see him sitting on a table next to Vlad. You know, he just...
That would be about the least surprising scenario I can come up with, yeah.
Because of all this
You go
donors.
spend more time with his money.
Honestly, though, seriously, what's happened to the people in this country?
I don't know. I genuinely do not know what has happened to this country.
And my parents are two of them.
Oh, well.
My parents are two of the most decent, genuine people that you could wish to meet. They've done it all as they're supposed to do.
Right.
You know, and yet,
But.
when it comes to politics, they're utter morons.
Right. Well, you know what? I blame the son. It used to be that you blame the parents, but I blame the son. It's all your fault, Simon. Thanks a lot, Simon. See what you've done?
Thanks.
All right. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. This says, why is nobody questioning that the MP for Uxbridge is not currently working in Parliament, serving his constituency, but flew out to the Caribbean over 2 weeks ago and is thinking of cutting his holiday short? And this is the person that some Tory MPs want to lead them, says Dominique in Gloucestershire. Why is nobody questioning? I'm questioning. Hello? Is this thing on? I'm questioning my face off over here. Holiday, if you please. This is on top of them having more time off than I was going to say a teacher, but teachers don't really get that much time off, do they? I mean, they get long holidays, but they're busy, marking and writing and setting up the course for the next year, feeding the starving children in their care, that sort of thing. MPs, on the other hand, there was somebody on Twitter today who was saying, oh, no, give them Hey, have I done the break yet? I was about to say, give them a break, which reminded me that I might not have done the break yet. I'll ask my glamorous assistant. Have I done the break yet?
Hold the line for me.
He's not listening. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing no. So anyway, somebody on Twitter was saying, oh, give them a break. The MPs, they have an enormous amount of recess because they have the spring holiday, which is immediately followed by the summer holiday, which lasts about 6 months. And then they come back and they have another holiday to get them over the 2 weeks before there's conference season, which is a month-long holiday. And then they have another holiday in, around about now. And then another holiday pre-Christmas. And then, of course, there's Christmas and New Year, and they can't do anything then. And it just goes on and on and on. They barely ever go to Parliament at all. And somebody was trying to convince us that MPs, in their recess period, are actually working hard for their constituents. Oh, please. I mean, Boris Johnson's hard at work, eh, Bodge?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, hard at work on his tan.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Well, the whole world's gone crazy.
Not the whole world, just here, dear. Melbourne. G'day, John.
Hello, Nick. Greetings from the future. It's 9:20 here on Saturday morning. And let me tell you, things
9:20?
aren't any better today.
Yeah. Right. I see.
Things are just as bad. Things are just as bad on Saturday morning. I've got to say, look, the whole thing is a grotesque perversion of democracy. I mean, have we stumbled into some parallel bloody universe where decency and, common sense has gone altogether. It seems that there's a willful neglect and a willful ignorance of anything that's happening. I'm so sick and tired of watching these smug, supercilious MPs being wheeled on to television shows defending the indefensible. And, for all of these years, they've ridiculed countries and governments like Greece and Italy. And you know what? They've destroyed the UK. They've brought the UK to exactly the same position to the countries that they ridiculed for years. The world's gone bloody mad.
Yeah, like I said, not the world, just here, dear.
Well, Britain's gone mad. And, and I've been watching the news, as you can imagine. We get somewhat limited access to the main news channels in Australia. You have to use VPNs, etc.
Yeah.
But the amount of people trying to defend Johnson, it's almost incomprehensible.
It is.
Why is there so much willful ignorance?
It's a cult, John.
Willful ignorance.
John, you have to look at it as a cult, and then it becomes understandable. These aren't people who are supporting a politician. They're supporting their God. It's got to that stage. It's a religion with them.
I mean, what I really believe should happen, and I doubt it will ever happen, but because it's fairly common sense, is there needs to be cross-party support and some sort of legislation put into place that if any sitting Prime Minister, regardless of the party, is unseated for whatever the reason, then within a 3-month period, there has to be a mandatory general election. Because that's the only way that this will never, ever happen again.
Well, I mean, you are of a same mind as a certain smug.
My view is the change of leader requires a general election.
Yeah, except he does that's not his view anymore, because his view changes according to the direction of the wind.
I mean, the problem is I'm sitting here with two hats on, in the sense that, yeah, I'm a British citizen living abroad, but I've got to say, and this is a completely different conversation, I'm also a member of the Scottish National Party.
Hey, John, does one of those hats have dangly corks on? Because they're great.
They are. They're fantastic, especially as it's absolutely lashing down here as I speak, looking out the window.
Well,
the rain is pouring and it's freezing.
I'm very glad to hear that, John, because that was going to be my next question. All right, thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. 0345 6060 973. Excellent accent, that man, yes? Grotesque perversion of democracy. Wow, you could practically eat that accent. 0345 6060 973. There you are, you see. People in Australia are laughing at us. We've got more of a clown show with the politics in this country than they have in Australia. That's just embarrassing. No offence. This says the trust bot is fuming because she has lost her supply of hard hats and high-vis jackets. It didn't take her long to do that dressing up in other people's work clothes routine, did it? Because that was Bodger Johnson's special trick.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, in a moment of panic, if he couldn't find a freezer to walk into, he'd dress up in somebody else's work clothes for a photo opportunity. Do his act. Paw! That. Painful. That act's so old, it's got mould on it. Paul says, is Boris trying to be PM so he can shut down the Standards Committee inquiry and fill it with his minions? Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be remotely surprised. That's not why he's trying to be PM, but that will be his first order of business should he become PM again. He couldn't care less about the Standards Committee inquiry. Are you kidding? He's just cut short his third holiday since June. He doesn't appear to be remotely interested in doing his job, let alone about what's a bunch of old duffers on a standards committee think about what he's done. Couldn't care less. He thinks he's above all of that. This says, I figured out what fabricant is. He secretly went to state what fabricants, as in his hair, what his hair is. He secretly went to state school, and that's a load of chewing gum that couldn't be removed. Actually, it does look like chewing gum. Oh, my God. He's wearing a hair helmet of chewing gum. Taylor says, is it true that the lettuce has put itself forward as the new Tory leader? They definitely get my vote. Absolutely. Or whatever else is in the vegetable container of your fridge. I'd vote for whatever you pull out the back of your fridge. You know, the thing that you've forgotten was there for the last 2 months. The thing that's completely covered in green hair. Whatever that is, it gets my vote. And this says Ukraine's Prime Minister was once a comedian. I can't imagine what Zelensky's views are on our government's Benny Hill show. Also, does anyone know where I can find Westminster footage that includes the Benny Hill theme tune as the backing track? Says Jen. Yeah, it's all over the shop, Jen. Do you have the internet where you live? 0345 6060 973. Oh, by the way, if you've got the internet, then my other podcast, my other podcast, is called The Nick Abbot Habit. There's 3 podcasts that I do. If you do an internet search on my name, Nick Abbott Podcast, then all 3 will become apparent as though by magic. But The Habit is a 30-minute best of old shows. Comes out on Mondays. It's called The Nick Abbott Habit. Ask for it by name on an internet near you.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Shut up. I can't. 0345 6060 973. Jay in Harpenden says, today on the Conservative Party web shop, it's a web shop. The infamous In Liz We Trust mug was reduced from £14.99 to just 10p.
What?
10p. 10 pence. The stampede to buy the mug literally crashed the website, says Jay, who may or may not be lying. I don't know if it's true or not, but it doesn't prevent it from being a fact. 0345 6060 973. Windsor, Christine.
Hi, Nick. It's Christine.
Christine.
I've got a terrible cold.
Oh,
so
a terrible cold?
Stop whining.
Go ahead.
Well, I've got COVID, actually, but anyway, and I've been listening to it all day long, and I think to myself, nobody's ever actually mentioned that Boris Johnson coming to join, to rejoin the parliamentary party or put himself up for it, the pound has tanked again. Nobody said anything about that. And you know what? They keep saying we can't get rid of this government. Well, the only way we can get rid of this government is take a leaf out of Gandhiji's movement, of Quit India movement, where he actually made all the Indians march from one end of India to the other and to have a sit-down. The non-violent sit-down wherever they went.
They glue their bottoms to the road.
They brought the British Empire to a standstill, and they had to go.
We're going to need a lot of glue.
No glue. Just sit down. Just a non-violent sit-down march against, like a national general strike. It was in India to get rid of the British. My father was one of them. Poor fellow.
I can't believe that this country, it's like it's been held, not even held to ransom. We're just being locked up in the cellar for no apparent reason other than the people with the keys are enjoying it.
But the thing is that they can't do anything because we're not being violent. We're just marching and protesting quietly.
They can do something.
The House of Parliament.
It sounds like it qualifies as being a nuisance to me.
Well, a national general strike.
Yeah.
A people's national general strike. Get rid of this government because it's destroying the economy in this country. Yeah. It's destroying our democracy and our reputation with the rest of the world.
Correct.
I mean, it's not a joke anymore. It's beyond a joke.
Yeah, I know. It would be funny if it wasn't happening to us.
No, exactly. But we're like a banana republic.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we're just standing by and letting people have to rise up because injustices that are done against the people, and people like us are paying for it.
Christine, rise up is not what we do. What we do is complain for about 3 hours straight and then shrug our shoulders and say, well, mustn't grumble. That's the British way. All right, thanks.
That button job.
All right, thanks a lot, Christine. 0345 6060 973. This says, it's quite obvious that Mickey Fab and Bill Cash are both space aliens from an outer galaxy. Well, that's just true. Jay in Harpenden says, oh no, I've read that. Liz We Trust mug, 10 pence now, 10p. Too blooming much. Brian says there'll be a TV helicopter trailing Johnson's taxi from the airport. Yeah. And then he won't pay. You know that's true. If he gets a cab, he ain't paying. Just saying. This says, I have an idea, Nick. Let's do a crowdfunder to tempt Johnson into the jungle and away from his own temptation of totally ruining the UK. He might take the massive bait, and then we can all sign relief. The Jungle? What, is that a TV programme? Or is that I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of the Jungle, or something like that? Is that what you're talking about? I don't watch those shows. I've got no idea. Has it got Ant and Dec on it? Then it's a no from me.
No.
Harrow. Jonathan. Harrow. What?
Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, very good. I had a few points to say.
A couple of 3 points.
Well, because, I mean, my everything is crumbling around me, right? Mm-hmm. You know, the heating stopped working, so I bring a man in, and now the house is too hot. You know, it's like a metaphor for the country. It was too cold.
Right.
And now it's too hot.
Too hot.
I'm sweating.
Right.
With a window open. But look, this country now, what has happened, it reminds me of third world countries.
Yes.
Do you remember when the Benazir Bhutto was back on a plane?
No.
And now we're getting breaking news footage of Boris Johnson on a plane. He's going to come and save us again.
Save us
allegedly.
all, yes. Thank you, Boris. You are our saviour. He's practically Jesus.
And to make things worse, I mean, look, I'm of Indian heritage. That doesn't make things worse, by the way. I'm making a point. Okay. And in 2019, I mean, you know, probably Brexit voters said to me, if you don't like it in this country, why don't you leave?
Right.
So now I'm trying to leave. I've got British passport, but because of the stupid ex-Home Secretary, you can't get visa in this country. I have to fly to Belfast.
Yeah. You
to get a visa.
You could leave all right. It's just you wouldn't get in the back end part. That's what might cause problems.
I can't. No, you can't. No, seriously, you can't leave now.
Oh, my God.
Because when Suella Braverman, who ironically, she's of Indian heritage herself, she said, there's too many Indians here. So then...
Can you believe it?
The Indian government, they've suspended all e-visas.
What is it? What is it with these people that I can come in, but after me, pull up the drawbridge? What is it with that?
So she's done this. So now, if you want to go to India on a British passport like I've got, you can't do the normal thing of just logging online. You know, something that's been happening for the past 20 years. You just click a button, do the form. So you have to then go to an embassy, and the only embassy with any spots left, because she made this, outrageous comment. The only embassy with spots left is Belfast. So to even satiate the racists and leave the country, I'm going to have to fly to Belfast to get a visa to help me escape this country. And then you've got the merry band of idiots, including, I'm not going to say his name, the Chancellor. I'm not going to risk it. No.
Warning.
Don't do that. No. Just say no. Just say Mr.
Jeremy.